And let's try and see if we cannot find something. Oh god. Ooh, wait. Up, 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 up. Trees. More trees. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode of Scrap Mechanic with me, Spacefish, in our super full, like, kind of stacked to the top with circuit boards little flat right here. Still kind of struggling with space, but, well, that is not the topic of today's video. Now, I did go to try and find some component kits, but I literally didn't find any. I seem to have, like, successfully farmed all the POIs. What's that? That's pretty weird. But yeah, so I seem to have really successfully farmed all the POIs. There doesn't seem to be anything left for me to grab. So I think we're just gonna be giving this a break of maybe like a day or two. And, well, hopefully, well, a day or two in terms of an episode or two, rather, and then hopefully when I go out the next time, the POIs will all be nicely respawned and restacked, and then I can just pull like another 20, 30, 40 component kits out of that to further push along our fly thingy, which is just convenient, you know, you're halfway laying down on its side. It feels like it's kind of tilting over a bit more every hour or so that I'm playing this game, because the last time I looked at this, it was certainly a little less tilted, but let's fix this. Let's get it aligned properly again. So, no component kits then, for a start, which is, of course, a bit annoying. I would have really liked to push this thing a bit further. Not too much metal. I've done some mining, but we haven't really converted that into too much metal. I have instead... There we go. I was kind of like, where in the world did it go? I've instead actually converted a bunch of it to tier 2 wooden blocks. Because in my mind, I kind of want to do a little bit something different this episode. In that we finally turn to this thing again, because it's been an absolute age. It's been pretty painful for me as of late, honestly, to go out and mine metal, because it just takes me absolute ages. And I would really, really, really like to look into finally making this thing a bit more workable for me. So, I've got a bunch of issues with this thing, right? For one, this collector in the back is a huge weight, kind of just propping up the front wheels whenever I have it on there, and like the fuller it gets, the worse it gets, and then I can't really steer anymore. And I'm pretty sure I also have 4-wheel drive on this thing by now, which will then also kind of course, you know, lowers grip and everything in terms of actually getting the power down. The drill really isn't working too fast. I'm not able to drill down pieces that fall to the ground, which, you know, in theory, I think you should be able to, and just kind of be able to grind them down, not always have to get off the vehicle and, like, hammer everything to bits yourself, which is currently my solution to this. And, well, I mean, it's really not just quite powerful enough. It's hard to keep the wheels on the floor. There is a huge, huge list of issues with this build, and kind of rightfully so, because honestly, I mean, this was like my first car. I didn't have anything, like, in the beginning, this was all made with scrap wheels, and there's, of course, just scrap metal everywhere. There's, like, a few boxes that I put up as my protection. There's a scrap seat, a scrap engine, and, well... It's kind of bad, honestly, and I would like to change that. Now, I'm not sure I'm able to do that within one episode. I probably won't, because I'm just kind of going to slowly build myself a vision of what I actually want to do with this thing. But what I do certainly know here is that we're going to do a totally new vehicle. I'm going to ditch this platform, leave it all behind. I'm going to transfer whatever I need over to a new platform. We're going to have more drills. We're going to eventually, whenever I get more component kits, have an upgraded engine so that we can have one engine kind of powering it all. We're going to have a proper seat. I'm considering to have large suspension and actually put it on large wheels and raise the frame up a bit more from the ground that way, because honestly it was skidding along the ground pretty badly whenever I used it. I'm also considering to totally change the system that we use for the drill, because right now, I mean, it's just kind of going straight, and I mean, while I could be placing like 3 drills just next to each other, I feel like that may not quite be the optimal approach because I always skid over these hills on which the rocks are on. So I'm kind of considering to do some sort of piston system maybe, where like a piston props this up and then we have the drills at the top and we can kind of just, you know, lower and raise the piston to our liking. But I'm not kind of sure if like procedurally adjusting a piston is actually a thing, or if it's just like all the way up or all the way down. Maybe just having multiple pistons and then you trigger one after another would be an option, something like that. You know, just like we come in from the top and we just slowly drill down into the rock and eventually it's all gone, and by us just being able to height adjust it, we can kind of drill the pieces to bits. I think something like that sounds like a viable option, but well, there's going to be a lot of design work. So that's definitely on the list for today. I want to take care of that. I also have found this thing while searching for POIs that have stuff in them. I was like basically all the way back there and came to like a POI that I looted like 3 episodes ago or something that still hasn't respawned. I was like, oh, hey, but Tom, gonna take that. But that's about everything that I got from that trip. The other thing that I actually did in between episodes, by the way, is I finally farmed fuel again. So what we will be able to do, what I kind of do want to try to do, is we will be able to use this thingy again here. And I really want to put a fuel tank on it. But you really also think that we're not going to put a fuel tank on it today, because if I do, I won't be able to fly it about the place at all, because this thing here is probably not going to propel us forwards anymore. And like, well, I can imagine that this thing maybe just about still gets us in the air. That will be an issue, and we'll just wait with that until we have more component kits, and we will be maxing out these thrusters. Maybe actually just adding like another 2, you know, would also probably be an option. Also maybe help with the balancing. So we'll push that further along as we go, but like definitely like we're not going to add on the fuel tank before both of these thrusters are level 5, which on the other hand side, you know, also kind of course spells a bit of trouble for us, because well, we could just run out of fuel mid-air and it's probably going to happen. Good thing being this thing should theoretically be slightly less efficient. Now I'm not sure. You always get 1 more efficiency and 1 more thrust. I'm not sure if I up the thrust by 1 level, if that kind of negates the effect of the efficiency, or I'm still more efficient. Because if it negates the effect, then both of these things will run out at the same time. Maybe we'll have to monitor fuel consumption there. But if this thing runs out of fuel first, that's kind of desirable, because I mean, then I'll just be able to land real quick, get some more fuel in there and continue. So that is also the plan. I'm going to go grab a bit of fuel, and I think we're going to go and head out to do that straight away whenever I've actually sorted my inventory, which I won't be doing together with you. But I really just kind of want to start flying about the place a bit and trying to find the flippin' oil pond, because I've literally spent like 20-30 minutes. I literally started here at the shore. I went all the way to the right of the sea, all the way to the left, along the other shoreline. It came all the way back around. Like I'm literally scraping the entire sea floor for oil, and I'm kind of desperate and don't want to do that anymore. So that would be great. But let me sort my inventory real quick, and then we'll hop on the thing and actually get going. Alright, as you can see, I mean, my inventory is still not perfectly sorted, but it is at least a little better. Also, something that I actually had done that I don't quite see right now, but also thanks to Master Cube again down below in the comments. I was asking about this whole thing, like how the navigation works, right? If we look at this thing again, you know, with the beacons and everything. So basically, you've got to make beacons, and you can place those beacons wherever you so please, and then you can kind of set those as waypoints with your journal, and you will kind of see like some points around the map wherever you want to go. Now, I actually set the mechanic station as a waypoint though, which seems to have reset itself, which is kind of annoying. Maybe that waypoint just unsets itself basically when you get there. I suppose that's the way it is. But it's a very good point from him, so thanks a lot for that. I can honestly just save myself the beacon for that, because I can just basically do this, and then, well, we do get a waypoint somewhere, and there it is, and, well, I guess when you get too close, it goes away, or maybe it kind of also tends to go away between save files. Not quite sure about that, but that's really handy to have, because now wherever I am on the map, I know what's my way back home. So thanks a lot for that, very much appreciated. And we can maybe just also have a quick look into here as to what we need to actually make beacons, because I've never actually seen those anyway. Maybe I've just scrolled past them 15 times. maybe I'm not looking at the right thing. Could also be that, because I am not seeing anywhere. No, I'm pretty sure I'm not seeing those. So, oh no, there we go. Here. Totally scrolled past them 15 bajillion times then apparently. So, very interesting. You can see right here, we need a radio, we need 10 circuit boards, which, please take all the circuit boards in the world from me. I've got way too many. I'm happily going to give all of those away. And a bit of metal, which, you know, is always a bit of a pain, but after all, we want to work on that, and the radio needs even more circuit boards. So, that's actually maybe kind of a good craft to make. Maybe I'm just going to be spraying a few beacons among the map, or along the map, rather, because, that's kind of nice. And honestly, I think we'll actually just start producing one. Because I think I would like to have one at the oil pond whenever I find that. That sounds like a very, very sensible thing to have. So we're just going to actually quickly queue that for production. I mean, I do have all the things out here that I do need for this thing. So we will queue a radio and... yeah, I'm telling you, this flat is an absolute mess. But we will queue that radio, and then we will queue ourselves a beacon real quick, because that is super, super handy, and I really love that. So, well, thanks a lot for even letting me know that there's beacons. I mean, I saw the beacon thing, of course, in the journal, but I had absolutely no clue about it, and, well, quite evidently managed to scroll past it for like 15 bajillion times in the last, well, I don't know, half year or so that we're by now playing Scrap Mechanics. So, yeah, definitely very good to know. I'll just finish this craft as well real quick, and then we'll actually get going. Alright, back we are. Beacon is done. We're going to be carrying that with us, and in case we will actually find the pond, we'll just be plonking that down. Issue, though, it's dark out. How do I mess the timing up like that? Also, something that changed, by the way, ever since the logbook is a thing. I think you were able to see the time like up here or something. Now you need to actually open the logbook, and you can see it's 10 PM. So, that maybe says flight delayed to me. I think we will just be focusing on actually getting our new platform going then. So, let's, for a start, just grab some, of that fancy wood that we got for ourselves. And just by the way, why I am using wood now instead of metal, I mean... base things are real expensive in terms of metal, and, well, for the exploration vehicle, it's kind of like I'm expecting to run into tons of bots and, like, maybe, like, bigger assortments of things eventually, you know, like, I don't know what other enemies there are that I can run into, but I'm feeling the chances way higher on a vehicle like this, or one like this, where I just travel like huge distances basically. But for the miner, I think the idea is that in the end we will probably hopefully not want to encounter too many of those anyways. So we will be keeping it a little more fragile, but honestly, it's still tier 2 wood, so it shouldn't be too bad, I hope. And, well, at the same time, you know, we can keep it a bit cheaper for ourselves. And, yeah, that's hopefully going to work nicely. Also, what I'm potentially going to use is going to be some of that scrap stone, and I'm going to turn that into concrete. Now, for one, I've of course just have way too much of it, so that's a good start for a reason right there. But I'm also considering to do that just because... well, we really have these balance issues here with the collectors and everything, and I'm not quite sure how I want to do the collector setup for the new vehicle just yet. I'm kind of thinking, you know, scraping along the bottom floor, basically, so kind of integrate it into the bottom here, but... well, one way or another, I think they're going to offset the balance a lot again, and that's why I'm kind of planning to actually use some concrete as counterweights, basically. So just like you would be used to it from like real life, from any cranes or whatever you see. I kind of want to do the same thing right there. But with that said, conveniently, we already had one of these seats dropped, so we are just going to use that. That's very nice, of course. And I think it was also Spastic Cube that let me know I probably actually grabbed that from Golden Chest, which is kind of cool, because I never even knew those were a thing just yet, so that's certainly very, very good to know. And, well, then we're going to just go and expand this out a little bit more. So for a start, I'm kind of thinking about how we want to do this. I would think that we have, like, one array up here, basically, and we would have, like, some sort of piston assortment right here that props up our mining rig, if that makes sense. So we would... is there any sense to have these separate? Not really. Centering. It's like, oh god, symmetry in this game is sometimes so hard to achieve. It's really annoying. But I would think we will have a piston on one of these things, and maybe we can just quickly check already what we need for that. Sorry for that one. So pistons. Where are pistons at? They're right here. I need crude oil. And of course, I just used up all my crude oil, so that's, of course, perfect timing right there. But we'll need crude oil, we'll need component kits, and that's something we'll need to take care of a bit later. But, we'll have pistons. I don't think there's any way to control them procedurally, right? If anyone can tell me, you know, I mean, the only things I know so far, buttons, switches, controllers, right? I mean, controllers just do things sequentially after all. Maybe we can do it with a controller, you know, just saying, you know, if I click the button once, this thing like has a stand-up position up here. If I click the button once, it just kind of goes down, slowly but surely, just mines it all and then goes back up. Could be an option. I think that is an option. But, like, I don't think there's any sort of, like, lever where I could basically just control from my cockpit and just be like, woo, and just kind of control the extension myself, basically, with a more extension and a less extension button. If that's a thing, let me know, please. But I don't think it is. So, we'll probably be sorting this using a controller. We will be grabbing these wooden blocks and maybe actually kind of mirroring the width of these vehicles, because I guess I don't want to make it wider than this, because we do eventually want to transport it with the truck. So we have got a width of 14 blocks right here. I mean, we're not even anywhere close to that just yet. We are currently here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can make this a bit wider, and we probably should, because honestly, I probably want some sort of stability right here, if that makes sense. Like, just if I don't make the track of the vehicle wide enough, we'll probably just have some stability issues, like just crazily sweeping from left to right. So that would kind of be like the minimum width I want to go for here, and I also kind of want to think about probably how I want to have the drills constructed and everything. I think we want to maybe make the vehicle to where we can just easily expand it outwards later if we want to, just so I can kind of widen my drilling rig if I need to. Or honestly, I mean, the drilling rig doesn't even have to be that connected to the overall width of the vehicle, so, you know, I think 10 is a good start. And we will have the drilling rig up here, basically, so like wheels can somewhat start right here-ish. Then for the front, I think that is probably about good, but let me actually check the width out of these. It's, well, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's kind of 2 from where you start, basically. So it's 2 to one side, 2 to another side, and it's kind of 5 by 5. And if I say I want to have a space of 2 again, which I think this was honestly pretty decent, I would be placing the wheels right here, actually. So that is going to be the plan there, and we will kind of not quite mirror this system here, I think. Like, I really like the approach that we had to the whole steering axle thing and everything, so kind of considering to do that again, but then again, maybe we don't quite need to, because what we could also do, and what we maybe should also do, maybe for a change, you know, just to have a bit of a different approach for once, is just kind of have things go like this, right? So, how wide are these? These are 2 blocks wide, right? So, we would kind of actually want to place them. Yeah, so we want to place them here-ish. So what would be the plan, maybe, will be something like this, and just actually starting the thing right here, right? So we don't have this super long control arm, but we basically just have like, well, a steel pipe thingy coming out, then we have a bearing on top of that, or maybe we just have a bearing, we have a steel pipe, and we have the I'll show you guys. We'll be doing this together. It's kind of daylight now, so I do want to go flying somewhat, and we will be for a quick second, but I do just want to quickly show you what I mean. So I'll craft a few of these, and I'll be right back. Alright, so back I am. Now, I've only got my sport suspension for the time being, which we're probably not going to be using this, because, like, for apparent reasons, I think we want to have, like, maximum clearance. This is not supposed to be a road vehicle, but more of an off-road thing. But I kind of just want to show you real quick what I'm thinking about here, how we're going to do this for a change. So, what would be my idea? We would have a bearing right here. We do need a pipe in the middle of that, so we'll kind of have to check out also how low we want to actually have the wheels be in the very end, but definitely a bit lower than on this. I do want more ground clearance, as I said, because like there's always these hills on which these rocks kind of stand, and if I can sort of, you know, detach myself from the ground as much as possible in that way, I'm just hoping to kind of keep the thing a bit more stable and a bit more usable when actually mining, if that makes sense. So we're going to try and keep it a bit low for a start, and then maybe also while we use it, we will probably be doing some fine-tuning. But just so you all get an idea of how I would actually want to do this, it would be something like this, right? So we would just have, like, the steering bearing right here. We would have the piston come down. We'll have another bearing on top of here, and then the wheel will go right out, just like it did there. And that is going to be the setup we will be going for. Now, that all needs a lot more wood though, because, well, 80 wooden blocks don't do anything. I'm going to have to go wood farming in between episodes next time around, so we can hopefully propel this a bit further too. But for the time being, let's actually go. Let's finally hop onto this thing, and let's try and fly somewhere. Another tip that I actually got was that if I upgrade this thing, I can actually set a few things in terms of, like, how crazy sensitive the steering is, or like what the steering angle is, so I can hopefully kind of, you know, fix that super crazy itchiness off of the suspension glitch that we've got going on. But with that said, you know, at least I've managed to kind of lower the strength, so it should be a bit more manageable this time around. That said, let's take off a bit here. And let's try and see if we cannot find something. Oh god. Oh, wait. Up, 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 up. Trees. More trees. Oh, Jesus Christ. Good thing I've got some extra fuel for a start. Oh, I think I found it. Have I found it already? I think I may. Is there multiple? Wait. Stop. Stop, 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 stop. Please. Ow. Damn it. Okay, we've landed. That's a start. I'm also always kind of really worried about... Oh god, I nearly removed the engine. Also always kind of really worried about actually... Oh, I mean, fuel is fine. Fuel is so... Okay, this is an interesting point. So, the thrust doesn't just negate the efficiency. More thrust actually outweighs the efficiency we gain. So that's certainly something to keep in mind here, because this thing is going to run out faster than that one. Or maybe it's just that I'm probably using this thing less, because I need the bottom one, of course, to keep us in the air. So that's something to keep in mind. But I think I just found 2 oil lakes. Is this one? Look at that. Ow. Oh, oil. Oh god, don't fall in. I think this is oil, is it? Looks a bit like it could be chemicals too, but this... I think this is oil. And I think I saw another one somewhere out there. It was so close all this time, I didn't even need the flying thing. Well, I kind of did, because, you know, I think it's a good thing to have this, because it just allows me so much better to actually find things, because I, of course, see the world from above with that. And I think we've got another one out here. Look at that! Oil for days! Good stuff. I'm really, really happy about this. I mean, I don't really think I need 2 oil ponds, because from what I've seen, the way that it works is basically you just set up some pumps like I do with water stuff, and then it kind of pumps the oil out, and I think I need to feed it into chests or something. So we'll have to see about the exact construct, but overall, you know, it's actually pretty doable and not too expensive. And I'm kind of reconsidering the whole base placement thingy right now, because honestly, I don't know, I've been debating this a lot in the last few episodes, and of course we've had this expedition run, and we've found, like, somewhat nice place a bit further out there. But I'm kind of debating it now, because honestly, we've got the mechanic station right here. We've got an oil pond right next to us. We've got a ton of POIs, we've got mining places, maybe, and we've got this huge thing, which probably we want to go to sometime, and maybe we want to repeat, I don't know how these things work. And we've got the repacking station pretty close, the other one being a bit further, but the first one is rather close, and the trader is rather close. So, like, there's a lot of positives, and I'm kind of thinking, like, maybe we want to just stay there and just kind of knock down the trees, like, closer to the shoreline and have, like, a nice huge house and farm on the shoreline. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I think we may actually be doing that. I think we may actually be staying around, because honestly, now that I have this oil pond right here, why would I want to go all the way out there when there's maybe nothing even close, and I just have to go all the way back here all the time? But okay, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be grabbing this beacon right here, and we're going to be placing that on the side right here so it doesn't block anything, hopefully. We can, oh, we can put a sign. That's super cool. Look at this, like drills and well, word, but we're gonna put this. I think that makes sense, and we're gonna keep it blue. Do I see it? Oh, I see it already. Look at that, and that's my fuel. And I think I can also see it in the logbook. Yeah, look at that. Can turn it on, can turn it off. We're gonna leave it on, of course. But yeah, that's super cool. Thanks a lot once more for that suggestion down below in the comments, Master Cube. Very much love that, and that just helped me kind of map out my oil pond. So that's very, very great to have. Why I'm drifting to the left here, I'm not sure. Oh god, I'm trying to just steer this thing with two hands. I think that makes it a bit easier than just steering it with one. You know, there's so many buttons to press, and then the steering is so itchy that it kind of just feels like, oh god, I'm fast. It kind of just feels like, yeah, it's really better to steer this thing with two hands. One is kind of borderlining it. But, yeah, I still love it. I still enjoy it. I think it's great. And now we've got an oil pond, so we can look into actually, well, pumping oil, all that fancy oil out of there, hopefully never running out of crude oil or fuel ever again, which fuel, of course, being an important part for this thing, because, like, just exploring this far, we've kind of just burned, like, 15 buckets of fuel probably easily. So, yeah, we're going to want a fuel tank on this. We're going to want to max this out. We're going to maybe even want more thrusters on this. And we're going to want all the fuel in the world for it. So, that, of course, being an interesting one. I've kind of gotten so many projects at the same time now, I don't even know where to kind of move on, but I think I'm going to be farming a good bunch of trees in between episodes, and then we're going to be pumping some more wooden parts into this, hopefully getting this further along. Maybe at least find like a few component kits so I can get some pistons set up and, you know, get a basic setup for the drills and stuff. We will see about that, but we'll certainly be working more on this in the next episode, and then hopefully after that the POIs will have respawned and I'll be able to grab more of those component kits and actually push other projects further along. And well, hopefully we'll also be able to get this done rather quickly so I can actually get back to mining and not have to be suffering all that much and get a lot more metal for this huge truck a lot faster than I currently am. So a lot of plans right there, a lot of advancements as well. I'm really happy with how this episode went. We're going to be back in the next one, probably instantly exploiting the oil pond and then getting back to some more work on that. But for today, I'm going to end it off right here. So I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does always help out the channel a ton. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon right next to it to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way, as always, thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I hope I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.